Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man. As always, I thank you for coming to my channel. You guys are going to get a hoot out of this story. I did a couple of videos about 3 days ago. It's called the BS Marketing. And I usually see this on Reverb, not so much on eBay, but Reverb is just ridiculous. And I mentioned about in the previous video about this guy selling a bullet for $275, which is almost $300 for a $100 guitar. You know, he's put a pick guard on them, and I'm like, get pick guards for about $30. And in his ad, he doesn't clarify, and this is the most important piece of information that should be there that wasn't. These are bullets. You just said the Squire series. That could be Infinity, which is a good model, or the bullet. You know, so I have to guess or have to contact you when you should put this information out there. And his response was, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to mislead anybody. Yes, you were. He's a professional player. He knows better, but he's playing ignorant and hoping that you're stupid and just buy it. A $100 guitar. And like I said, you can get bullets for $120 brand new all day long at Guitar Center. And around Christmas, they be like $80, you know? So it's like, just be honest, man. Put all this information out there and let us decide what we want to get. So here's another story that kind of ties in with that story. I was in the market for, I'll read it to you. In the market for a Roland M-GS64. And it's part of the expansion series because I have all of them except for that one. And this one actually I decided to sell because I got the same strings in the JV880. And this is for Mr. Holman. So this could ship out next Friday, sir. And I actually had the GM or the MG twice. I bought it twice, but for some bizarre reason, it would not hook up MIDI-wise. I'm like, I got modules all around here all day long. Been working with these things since the 80s. I've never had any hookup problem with them MIDI-wise. You know, you got a MIDI cord. You plug one part of it into the out of the controller, you know, whatever the keyboard controller is, and then the other into the end of the module. You set them both to channel 1 or 2 or whatever channel you want to use, and you go from 1 to 16. There you go, and it's off to the races. But for some reason, that module would not MIDI sync. You know, I hook it up right. I got the channel set, nothing, no sound. And I'm saying, I know I'm not doing anything wrong because I get the brother of that or one of them and hook it up the same way and it works. You know, the MIDI channels are locked in. The controller's on one. The sound source is on one. And I said, what's the difference between this module and all these other ones? Now, that one, for some reason, have 2 MIDI ports, 2 sets. I tried them both. I still couldn't get no sound. I bought another one. Same thing. Couldn't get no sounds. So I'm like, I know it ain't me. For some reason, that module has perhaps a unique way of setting up the MIDI channels, you know, so you can play out the module. So I need to know what it is because apparently it's not like all the rest of them because all the rest of them, real simple. MIDI cord out to the controller, MIDI cord into the sound module, set them both to channel 1. And you're off to the races. But for some reason, that one wouldn't. So I seen another one because what prompted me to want to buy it was this guy on YouTube, great piano player. And he go through all the sound patches. I'm like, I like some of them piano patches. So I seen another one on Reverb. I'm like, well, let me take one more stab at it, but I'm going to do this first. 2 guys are selling that unit on Reverb. I reached out to both for my matter of fact, I cut and paste the first response or question to the second guy. And I said, I'm very interested in this. Matter of fact, I'm going to read this to you. What I wrote. It says, I'm very interested in this unit. I have one problem. I bought this unit at least on 2 different occasions and was not able to trigger the sounds from the module for some reason. I have all types of Roland expansion modules, the Jazz Machine, the Vintage expansion, and so on and so forth. And up, the expansion. And the MIDI with no problems. Yeah, hooking them up, the MIDI-wise, no problem. But for some reason, this unit would not work. I'm a professional musician. I have many sound modules in my studio. I don't know the difference. I do know one difference between this one or that one and the rest of them. It has 2 MIDI ports. So I've tried both MIDI ports and nothing. I was wondering if you can make me a 1-minute video showing the MIDI hookup. And once I see that and what is missing in the setup that I try or attempt, I will buy it from you as soon as possible. I look forward to hearing from you. I sent that question to both of these guys. And the first guy responded quickly, said, no problem. He said, when I come back from my gig on the weekend, I'll make a video for you and I'll send it to you and you can see what perhaps you missed to do or whatever. So I said, I appreciate you taking that moment out to do that, and I look forward to the video. Okay, the second guy. I'm selling this unit for a friend. So a friend can't do his own Reverb account. And that's fine, Who has taken good care of this unit. I have asked him if he knew the answer to your question, which is real simple. How do you make it up, hooking up the module to the controller to play the sounds, But I have asked him if he knew the answer to your question because I certainly don't. So you selling something you don't even know how to work. And unfortunately, he was clueless as well. 2 guys, 1 unit, and nobody know how to hook the bitch up. How ridiculous is this? You shouldn't be selling nothing. He don't know, you don't know. Sorry, we can't help you, but you're selling this. And there's a guy selling on the other guy's behalf, and neither one of y'all know nothing. Sorry, I can't help you. If it helps any, you might want to refer to page 36 to 52 on the manual. I can't even find one. I went online, can't find one. I thought I found one. It was a virus site, which discusses the MIDI interface, but I cannot understand any of it. Thanks for your interest, and I hope you can figure it out. Ain't that ridiculous? Guys on Reverb selling stuff don't know how to work it, And you would think they would put that in their auction description. I don't know nothing about this, Instead, they don't. They just give you some generic descriptions of the unit. And then when you inquire about how this damn thing works, because, again, this is the only sound module I have not been able to hook up. I'm like, I know I'm not doing nothing wrong because the MIDI setup is basically universal. Whether it's a rolling sound module or Korg sound module, the MIDI ports out in the back. The MIDI through, MIDI out, MIDI in. And they all work the same. They all speak the same language. Except for this one, for some reason, it would not trigger the sounds. Even though, again, I've hooked it up right. And these guys don't know nothing either. 2 of them. And 1 unit, 2 dudes, and nobody can tell you how this damn thing works, You get a lot of this on Reverb. People selling stuff, don't know what they're selling, don't know how it works. I have guys to tell me, I said, my first interested question is, how's the action? Pull it out, play it, and you can make an assessment. It's kind of low, or it's pretty low. It's about the average setup standard. It's kind of high because, there's a handful of people that like high action. Most don't. And I'm one of those that most don't. But there are some people do. I did a poll of you guys about a year ago, 2 years. I said, leave me a comment for the guys that like it real low before it's buzzing and real high. 1 guy, actually, technically 1 guy. Technically it was 2, but technically it was 1. And I'll explain that. 1 guy who plays lap steel guitar said he wanted his high. I understand that because lap steel is high. So he wanted his guitar like lap steel. Another guy that just wanted some attention and wanted to be the one dude out the bunch that has a different opinion that, wants to be seen and stand out. I like mine real high. Sure you do, buddy, But this is ridiculous. And I only usually run into this on Reverb. People that selling stuff and then they selling it for a friend, and neither one of these guys know how to work the damn thing, I try to stay off Reverb. I rarely ever buy anymore, but now and then I browse through it because I'm like, I might be, missing a little gem here. Let me just, go through the guitars, the basses, and the sound module and see if there's somebody that's sensible in pricing, because 99% of the people on Reverb, they shit like twice as much as it's supposed to be. Like the guy with the Squire Bullet guitars. He wants $300 for a $100 guitar simply because he put a new $20 pick guard on it, I'm standing off now because my camera's blinking.